right, welcome back. Video number 2, example number 3, understanding absolute value inequalities. Number 1, solve and graph the absolute value inequality. So, letter A, we have the absolute value of x is less than 3. This means two things. This means that x is less than 3. And then it's the same thing as our equations where we've got the positive and the negative. However, if we do a negative, our inequality sign has to flip. So we get x is less than 3 as our first one and x is greater than negative 3 as our second one. And that is it. All we got to do now is graph it. So x is less than 3, open circle, and arrow going to the left, and then the other one, open circle at negative 3, and arrow going to the right because all the numbers greater than. Now let's make a connection here. I see that my arrows are going in the opposite directions, meaning they're overlapping each other. What does that remind us of? If you said and compound inequality, you are correct. So I have this little keynote here from the graph that we can conclude the absolute value inequalities with the, now what inequality sign is this sign? This is less than. So whenever you see less than, and I gave you the less than sign, less than or equal to, should be thought as an and inequality. Here's my little trick. Whenever I see less than, I think of less than. So whenever you see less than, it's going to be an and statement, okay? All right, letter B. Absolute value of x is greater than 3. This also means two things, just like the last one. X is greater than 3. And then if we change the sign, we have to flip the inequality sign as well. Negative 3, flip, and x. Now let's graph these guys. So open circle at 3, and all the numbers greater than 3 are to the right. And x is less than 3, open circle, and all the numbers less than are to the left. So what kind of compound inequality does that look like? If you said or, pat yourself on the back. It is an or compound inequality. So whenever you see greater than, it's going to be or. So here's my play on words for greater than. Great or. Cool, huh? So less than and. Greater or. Okay? So now what I would like you to do is try it. You're going to try C and you're going to try D. And you're going to try it and you're going to be a good student so I can be a good teacher. Come with these completed, please. I'll pause, and then when you are done with C and D, pick the video back up for number 2. Okay, now that you have completed C and D of number 1 for example 3, we are moving on to number 2. Solve the inequality and graph its solution on a number line. So number 1, first we might need to isolate the absolute value onto one side if necessary by using inverse operations. We had to isolate stuff with equations as well in the last video, so that step hasn't changed. Number 2, you're going to remove the expression from the absolute value and write two inequalities. One with a positive and one with a negative expression. You will also end up flipping one of the inequality signs for the ones that you change. So if it's positive and you change it to negative, you're going to flip the negative inequality sign. It'll make more sense soon. Then you're going to solve both inequalities using inverse operations. Then you're going to graph your solution on a number line, and you're going to write your solution as an and or an or compound inequality. So, letter A. There's no isolating that we have to do here. Our absolute value bars, when I say isolating, I mean, is there anything on the left? No. Is there anything on the right? No. So we're good there. So we don't have to isolate. Now all we have to do is remove the absolute value bars and just write 4x plus 2 is less than 6. It's the exact same thing, just without the absolute value bars. Now the opposite would still be the 4x plus the 2, but now instead of my less than sign, it's going to be greater than. And instead of positive 6, it's going to be negative 6. That's the only difference. Okay, now we're going to solve both of these. So I'm going to do the same side first on the left. I'm going to subtract 2 on either side. I get 4x is less than 6 minus 2 is 4. 4x means times. Opposite of times is division. So I'm going to divide by 4 on either side. And I get x is less than 1 as my first answer on the left. Then on the right, same steps, just different side. I'm going to subtract 2. I get 4x is greater than. If I owe you 6 and I owe you 2 more, I owe you $8. Divide by 4 on either side. Oops, I slipped. X is greater than negative 2. All right, I also see that this is a less than, so this is going to be an and statement. All right, so negative 2 is right here. Open circle, what am I doing? So open circle at negative 2. And I know that this is all the numbers, x is all the numbers bigger than negative 2. And then in the red, I see an open circle at 1. And that x is all the stuff smaller than 1. And I see my graph made an and statement. So we're good. Now I just need to write my solution as an and or compounding inequality, and I know that this is an and, so I can either write it as x is less than 1 and x is greater than negative 2, or I could write it as x is in between negative 2 and 1. Either one of these you can write. It does not matter. Pick one. Okay? All right, let's go meet me on the back once you got this. All right, I'm going to do B with you and then call this video done. So my first step that I need to do is isolate the absolute value bars. Do you see there's a 4 here and a negative 7 here? Those need to move. They can't be there. So I'm going to isolate. 4, absolute value of negative 2x plus 3, absolute value, negative 7 less than or equal to 9. Ooh, let's ask this question. Is this going to be an and or an or? Again, I see less than, so this is going to be an and statement. So our arrows are going to overlap. Okay. Now let's go back to our problem. I need to move the 7. So I'm going to move it by doing the opposite of what's in front of the 7, which is a minus. So I'm going to add 7 on either side. Then I get 4 absolute value negative 2x plus 3 absolute value less than or equal to 16. Then I'm going to get rid of the 4. This means 4 times. Remember, we never distribute over the absolute value. Never, ever, ever. So instead of distributing, because I'm never going to do that, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And my new inequality sign that I'm going to do the rest of the problem with, is absolute value of negative 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Okay. This is the problem I'm going to use. It's isolated now. The absolute values have nothing in front or behind it. It's all good. So the same, I'm going to keep it the same. Negative 2x plus 3 is less than or equal to 4. And then the other one I'm going to do the opposite of. So negative 2x, keeping the negative 2x and the 3 the same. Changing the less than or equal to a greater than or equal to. And changing the positive 4 to a negative 4. All right, let's go back to the red guy and solve that one. You need to do the opposite of addition or subtraction first. I see addition, so I'm going to subtract 3 on either side. Then I get negative 2x is less than or equal to 1. I'm going to divide by negative 2 on either side, and oh, something happens. I'm going to have x, and instead of less than or equal to, it's going to become greater than or equal to negative 1/2. It's not 2, it's a half. Then I'm going to go over to the green side, and now I'm going to subtract 3, I get negative 2x is greater than or equal to negative 7. I'm going to divide by, I'm dividing by a negative again, so my greater than or equal to sign is going to become less than or equal to, and negative 7 divided by negative 2 is positive 3.5. And now all I have to do is graph these guys. So I know my arrows are going to overlap. I'm going to go to negative 1/2, which falls in between 0 and negative 1, and it's going to be a closed circle. And then I also know that it's going to be a closed circle at positive 3.5, which is in between 3 and 4. And then I know that x has to be bigger than negative 1/2, but smaller than 3.5. So you should have arrows that overlap each other just like that. All right, so then to write our solution, we know that it's either x is greater than or equal to negative 1.5 and x is less than or equal to 3.5. You can write it that way, or you can write your answer as x is in between your smallest number, which is negative 1/2, and your bigger number, 3.5. Either way, does not matter to me. The computer will take both of those ways. Okay, C. I am going to give you the answers to C. So this is your your try it. Try it so that when you come into class, you have something to talk about. And then D, this one's going to be all you. So if you want to get a head start, get a head start. Pause, and I will be back with your answer in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I got x is less than or equal to 2 for the same side, and x is greater than or equal to 3 for the opposite side. Then you need to try graphing it. One last hint, that is greater than, so you should have an or statement. And then your last reminders for this video, question or connection. For this video, for this side, and then your chunk summary number 2. Go ahead and try it out. And I will see you in the next video or tomorrow, whichever comes first.